Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. There's an old saying, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. But in Filip Hrgovic's case, all he is continually fed is so all he can make is sandwiches. So it's just going from farcical to beyond farcical with what's happening with Filip Hrgovic. So he was meant to face Scott Alexander, which for this stage of Hrgovic's career, a subpar fight. But for whatever reason, Alexander pulled out in fight week, reasons undisclosed. And now we have a fight for Filip Hrgovic against the unbeaten Emir Ahmotovic. So this guy 10-0 out of Germany, but this really is a padded record. I've looked for a guy who on paper looks credible, but effectively he's just been feasting on journeymen, and we really have no idea how good he is. And the fact that he's had 10 fights is outside the top 100, still feasting on journeymen even until his last fight, it's not going to be good. So Filip Hrgovic is just going to absolutely slice through this guy like a hot knife through butter. But you have to ask the question, what are they doing with Filip Hrgovic? At the point that Filip Hrgovic signed a co-promotional deal to be promoted by Matchroom, and his existing promoter was Sauerland, which is aka Wasserman now, things were meant to be on the up and up. It was only meant to be onwards and upwards. All we've had is Filip Hrgovic feasting on absolute journeymen just for some considerable time. These are two of the biggest promoters in the world. They just can't do anything for him. And for all the crying by the promoters themselves, no one wants to face Filip Hrgovic, he's a boogeyman, all that sort of stuff. Put your hand in your pocket. It's beyond a joke now. I mean, other prospects, for example, Joe Joyce from the same Rio class as Filip Hrgovic, he's been able to get fights with the likes of Carlos Takam, Daniel Dubois. There's been other fights that Joyce has had that have been at a certain level and appropriate for where he's at in his development. Tony Yoka, if they can get him Christian Hammer, they can get him the likes of Carlos Takam, Peter Milas as his development fights. But for some reason, you've got Emir Ahmotovic, Marko Radonic, Rydell Booker, Andre Kartozia. That's the last 4 opponents. Embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. Filip Hrgovic should be trying to cut ties with these guys because they're obviously trying to suppress his career. Clearly they have no interest in building him in any meaningful way, and that they are just at this point keeping him away from anything resembling a fighter with a pulse. For all the talk publicly about trying to get him into big fights, put your money where your mouth is. Actually do something for this guy because it's beyond a joke now. If you truly believe that he's a world-class fighter, is going to be a heavyweight kingpin for a number of years, invest in him and actually show him that you think he is going to be the next big thing in the heavyweight division. Just feeding him and having him feast on journeymen, languishing away on undercards in the United States, not building a name, not building a profile in that country because of the opposition that he's facing, you're doing him a disservice and his career an injustice, knocking on the door of 30 and basically irrelevant at this point in the heavyweight division because you've made him irrelevant. It's ridiculous. So we'll get to a couple of quotes here. So Hrgovic, obviously for him, just making the best of the situation. He says, I need to stay focused. I cannot underestimate anyone. Thanks to Emir for accepting the challenge. I'm looking forward to Saturday night. I don't know what's going on. You're the biggest promoter in the world, and I hope you find someone to fight me soon. Amen. I mean, even Hrgovic expressing his frustrations about his promoter's lack of ability to put him in a meaningful fight. I'm looking forward to big fights. I said to promoters, you, Eddie, a long time ago, I feel like I'm ready for everyone. I'm training really hard. I'm focused on boxing 100%, and I'm looking for a big fight, and I'm focused on Saturday night. I don't want to underestimate anyone. I know I have the quality and talent to become the best fighter in the world. So his promoter or co-promoter, Nissa Sauerland of Wasserman, formerly, which was Sauerland Brothers, bought out by Wasserman. It's been a frustrating time for Filip. The whole IBF situation, we went through the top 15 twice and no one wanted to fight Filip. Now next year, someone's got to fight him for the mandatory, and I believe you're looking at the next world champion. Next year, 2022, it's going to be Hrgovic's year. Well, we've heard this before. This year was meant to be Hrgovic's year. You're part of the problem too, Sauerland Brothers. Respect to Ahmotovic, it's always hard to get Filip opponents, but we're just happy to be in Vegas. Thanks to Eddie, thanks for his team for helping us. Roll on Saturday, you're going to see the future heavyweight champion. Thanks for helping us. Yeah, feeding him this opponent? Wow. So Emir Ahmotovic, he says, I'm happy to be here. Seriously, when someone starts off like that, you know that it's not going to end well for them in that fight. Someone says they're happy to be there, aka give me the paycheck, I'm ready to lay down and get knocked out. Last week, I got a call for the fight against Hrgovic, and I said, of course, I want to fight him. Why not? That's why I'm here. I'm 100% here to win, and I will give it my all to win the fight on Saturday. I'm sorry, chap, but you betrayed yourself with the opening sentence. I'm happy to be here. So this is not a good fight, not a good opponent. This is not good promoting and matchmaking by Matchroom and Sauerland / Wasserman, whatever we're calling them. Come on, it's embarrassing at this point. You are embarrassing yourselves, and you're suppressing, supposedly, someone who you think is going to be a future heavyweight champion. Sure, you might say all in good time, but at this point it just looks like you're prioritizing a number of your existing heavyweights that you can make money on, and you're not bothering to build some of the ones that are coming up. That's the way it looks, plain and simple. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter. Boxing_squared. I'm out.